Behold, my stuff.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? We're back and we're going to look at something a little different today. As you may or may not have seen in a previous video, I do collect various superhero stuff as well. You've seen me do some Marvel stuff, some Aquaman stuff. What you haven't seen me do a ton of is Batman stuff. Now, I did do the new NECA 89 Keaton belt recently, which was really, really cool. A couple things came into my possession after that. Just random things like this chest symbol, which is, I'm told, a lineage piece. I have to verify that, but basically it's the adherence piece that goes and keeps the cowl attached to the bodysuit and whatnot. And I was going to use this to make a display for the Keaton belt. And then something else totally random happened. What happened, what did I just step on? What happened was, I was online and I saw somebody was getting rid of a batfleck. And I thought to myself, you know, of all the Batmen, that's the one who matches my build the most other than Adam West. So I reached out to the guy, talked to him a little bit. He actually sees the channel, and we worked out an acquisition. So I now have a batfleck. A couple interesting things about this batfleck, which I was not aware of. Number one is that it's a Rubies heritage. I have modified it a little bit. We're going to talk about those mods in a moment. Threw in a cowl. This is not the Rubies cowl. It's a totally different one. The Rubies belt was included. The Rubies cape was included. We're going to replace that as well. I have the new cape that is already part of my Kylo Ren. And there were some urethane gauntlets that were included as well. And we're going to start with these. I really appreciate the gentleman who contributed the costume to me. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I really think you undervalued what you gave me. But like I said, I was happy to take it off your hands. This particular piece is urethane. If you don't know anything about urethane, it's sticky and you can't ever get it on. So you have to talcum powder the crap out of it or cover your hand in a piece of Lycra and it'll slide right through. But talcum powders or baby powder is the best way to do it. Everybody goes on and on about the cancer and whatnot. So, I mean, look, it's not going to kill you. But these are incredibly good pulls. They're a little flimsy, so they need some reinforcement, but I probably won't do that. I'm probably just going to paint them up with some rub and buff, my trusty rub and buff. And these are very, very nice. They're really, really good pieces, and they're vastly superior to what comes with the Rubies Heritage version. So these were really good. I have a little bit of trouble getting my large hands through them, and so I've already ripped one. Let's see if I can find the damage here. So I've already had to repair that. Repairing urethane is a bitch. So my new plan, they do have the cuts in them and everything. So my plan is to do a slit right through here and install a hidden zipper from here to here, and then I don't have to worry about the ripping. Also, you may notice I have my blue contacts in right now. I'm giving them a test run. You guys know I do a Dumbledore. I do a couple other costumes where I need blue eyes, so I'm testing out these that I just recently got. So far, I like them. They work pretty good. So again, these are very, very epic. The suit itself we'll get to in a moment. I want to talk about the cowl. First things first, this cowl is an amazing piece, and I have gone through and already done some modifications. Number one, this is for a pretty big, sizable head. My head is way too fat anyway, so what I've had to do is I've had to go in and cut the cowl and install, as best I could, a hidden zipper. And so, in so doing, we now have an installed zipper. And it doesn't unzip the easiest unless it's like on your head. So it's easier to close than it is to open. So storing it in the open position is good. The other thing you got to watch when you install a hidden zipper is don't glue the zipper shut, which I had a problem with, so I had to replace the zipper. So I've installed this so that it gets on my head. I will upload a video of when I tried this on. I had already cut it, but I hadn't installed the zipper yet. You'll see that it holds shape even without the zipper. I did the zipper just for closing purposes. But this is a really sturdy urethane cowl. I thought it was an Iconic Effects. I did reach out to Iconic Effects. They are not certain. So I think it is. I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty good pull. It has a reinforced jawline with extra sturdy amounts of rubber through the jawline, so that when it's on your face, it holds really well. It's also got a reinforced resin top. So the dome is completely reinforced. The ears are completely reinforced and filled with resin. My guess is if this is not an Iconic Effects, this is one of the standard BVS cowls that is just kind of floating around in 3D printing, and somebody just made a mold and did a urethane pull. But if whoever did it knows what they're doing. It's a really, really nice, it's really, really nice. I'm going to see if I can actually put this on. I haven't put this on since I put the damn thing on, but let me just see if I can. No talcum powder. Oh, God in heaven. So even with no talcum powder, I can get this on, and then I do the zip. Jesus H. All right. So for a urethane to go on that easy, that's not bad. So I'm going to lower myself here so you can kind of see what's going on. So as you can see, this is extremely form-fitting. The goal is to put some Velcro attachment underneath here, so that'll stay. The cape that I'll attach will hit these wings and keep them down. But even if you look in the back, I don't really need to adhere that. That's going to be all right. And this holds a really nice shape. You know, you need to have good posture with this to kind of keep it up. But this is a really good cowl. I can turn my head a little bit. I don't have to do the full Keaton, but you kind of do. But you can see from the profile, it's got a good profile. You don't even have to black your eyes too much. I won't have to do like a full huge circle. I only have to do a little bit in the orbital area. It's not bad at all. I don't really have to pad it. Once you get past that thin neckline, you get your big noggin in there. It's a really nice profile. So now I have to get it off, which is, I haven't thought about that. How am I going to open the zipper? Let's see. If I have the cape on, I don't think I'll be able to take this off. I'm going to have to do this in stages. Or, no, the cape goes on the outside, doesn't it? It goes under the cowl. I haven't finished all my research yet for this. All right, and then we kind of give it one of these guys. Oh, friggin' urethane. Yeah, so big pain in the ass. Even doing that, I can feel the zipper wanting to pull away. So I'll have to, I may stitch that part right there, just a couple stitches, just at the top. Because it gets a little crunchy. I did rip it a couple times when working through this process. So let's see if we can get in here and you can see some of my repairs. There's a repair right there. There's a repair right there. So I did I did encounter some resistance with this, but like I said, I got it for peanuts, so I'm not going to complain. You saw that displays really well. I mean, I'm not going to go around and fight crime every night. I'm going to wear this to 1 or 2 events, if anything. So I just need it to look good for like the one time I'm wearing it, and if it starts to come apart, not the end of the world. I may do 1 or 2 photo shoots. I haven't decided yet. So the big difference that I did so far is the bodysuit. This is an XL, and it does fit me. As a former athlete, like I said, I walk around at 240 right now because I'm a little fat. But my legs and my glutes fill the bottom fine. Benefits of being a former track athlete and a personal trainer. My chest fills fine. Stomach obviously fills fine. Shoulders and arms, I'm not exactly small, but it's nowhere near enough to fill the arms of this. So I did have to buy a muscle suit to take care of some additional deltoid, tricep, and bicep padding. That's a little insulting, but it is what it is. I mean, Ben was a pretty big guy when he did the movie, and he wore a ton of muscles under this, so I used my conscience with that. The main thing I did to change was I went in, and again, all these panels here were one solid piece of foam, and they had these panels stitched. I went in, took one of those Pauly D Jersey Shore DJ costumes that I like, cut out the abdominal section, and redid it. So that way I have a little bit more of the batfleck abdominals, and then I'm going to go in and do some very light airbrushing and stuff like that. And then these come through and they sit very nicely on my obliques and my serratus muscles, and they look like muscles even though I don't have them anymore. But I like it. As long as you maintain a basic superhero width and shape, you know, shoulders and chest with somewhat of a V-taper, even if you have a bit of a tummy, the suit fits well. My big gripe is that the arms feel a little pajama-y and the legs are nice and tight. So I do need a dancer's belt. So that's got to happen, or they're not going to let me into a con. Certainly not going to let me wear anywhere near children, that's for sure. So get yourself a dancer's belt, or what I may do is install a permanent dancer's belt cod piece just to avoid that. It has these really cool snaps for the cape it comes with, which is nice, actually. I really like that. And if I didn't want to wreck my Kylo cape, I'd probably keep that and install that. What I don't like is the symbol. The symbol is not my favorite. It's small, it's undersized, and it's stitched through the suit, which means that if I pull this out, there's a big gaping hole in the suit. Now, I got a couple options about working around that. I could use the Pauly D chest pieces and put new chest pieces underneath and glue it to that so that it's not fully just empty. And then I can put a new symbol over the whole area. The problem is, the way this is so high up, I'm worried the cowl will have little to no room to separate from this. Now, I got two options. I can cut away some of the cowl and lose some of that classic Affleck shape, or I could try to re-simulate it across the whole thing and just take out at like a 1/2 inch, and that's risky. Or I can pull this out, put the muscle suit under it like I wanted, go in and try to match this coloring with gray and black and try to hide this as best I can, and then put the other cowl just underneath it ever so slightly. Sorry, not cowl, symbol, ever so slightly, because what I want is I want this to come out here, I want it to come down further, and then I want it to cross and come down into the abdominal region like it does in the film. So I may go out and buy a black mat and do that myself, or I may just spend $45 and have somebody else do it. It depends on my time. I'm not doing this as a primary project. I'm kind of getting this ready for Halloween, which is my intention to have it done for. I have a lot of books to make, so I'm really not prioritizing this right now. This is just sort of like what I'm doing when glue is drying, pages are drying, and I got to take a break from books. I just had a huge run of getting a couple furthered along in mass production because I had a guest appearance on a podcast, Evil Dead Italia, and we were talking Necros, so I wanted to make sure I had one of everything to show on the podcast, which included an AVED book, which isn't mine. It's actually something that I made for somebody else, so that's actually getting shipped out now. But if you didn't check out that podcast, it was 2 hours long, so I understand if you don't want to, but I thought it was a pretty good podcast. But overall, this cape is not bad. It's nowhere near long enough. It's not at all what I would recommend. It looks like a costume cape. I do like it. I may keep it for something other than Batman, but it's definitely not what I'm going to keep. I'm going to go with the Kylo Ren cape. I like that better. I think the stitched paneling on the Kylo Ren cape kind of goes with the batfleck theme. Is it 100% accurate? No. Do I care? Not particularly. I've already got black boots that I like, which I will wear. I just need to put some brass toe tips on it. So what I'm going to do is form the toe tip in Warbler, cover it in gold. Put those on the boots temporarily, and then kick them off when I don't need them anymore. So really, between the gauntlets, the suit, and the cowl, and then the belt, which is really just the rubies belt, it doesn't really fit me in terms of its width and the way the Velcro system works. The Velcro system they have is kind of crap. So I want to just rip this all off and put it on a more appropriate belt, but it looks okay. It just needs to be completely repainted, which I will do. But the casting is solid plastic, and that's good. So you really have everything you need to make a really nice looking batfleck. It won't be as good as a fully textured darker brown or darker gray suit. It won't be that good. But for what it is, I mean, you could take one of these heritage costumes and make it really passable if you have a couple of good pieces that you swap out, namely the gloves and the cowl and the cape, and then you're in business. The big issue right now is gloves, because the gauntlets are supposed to have a thumb over piece, and you wear gloves under that thumb over piece, and it obviously doesn't include one of those. So I have a couple of options. I can make one and attach it to the urethane glove and make that part of what I utilize when I put on, and make it like 3 pieces or 2 pieces if I attach it directly to the urethane glove. Or I could just bypass that completely, get some black gloves that have a little bit of a longer bit and then zip up over them. So yeah, batfleck is going to happen. And so I'll do a test. I did a test fit. I'll show that video at the end so you guys can see what it looks like when I'm wearing it. But for the most part, I really don't plan on enhancing this costume much more than it is. A little bit of shading. The legs shading looks good. The obliques and serratus muscle shading looks good. Just a little bit on the abdominals so that you can actually see them from afar. and then probably replace that symbol somehow. I may just put a brand new symbol over the top of it and call it a day. We'll see how I attach the cowl ultimately long term, but when you see the test fit, you'll see what I'm saying about how that slips over the bat symbol, and I don't like that. I might be able to attach it without altering it at all, and that would be cool. But if I can, I can't, and there's nothing I can do about it. So we're going to see if it works or it doesn't, but I think that this is going to be the only Batman I ever do and I ever own. I just don't think I can pull off a Keaton. I'm too big. I might be able to pull off a Kilmer, but I don't see myself wearing a Panther suit anytime soon. So really, this is going to be it. This is going to be my Batman. And whether it's full BVS or Dark Knight Returns-esque, I just think that this is the only Batman I'll need to wear. My one gripe is that when I wear it out, I know I'm going to get pursued by other Snyder kids who are going to be like, Snyder! And I'll be like, no, Batfleck, but not Snyder, but Batfleck. So Jose Fernandez, like, not Snyder, please, God help me. You know, and you guys know that about me. I've done Jason Momoa from the Solo movie, not from anything that he did with Zack. So that was what I liked. So thanks for checking this out. Without further ado, I'll do my closing now, and then I'll show you the clip of me in the suit. But if you can't build it, buy it. If you can't buy it, build it. But man, sometimes it really works when you do both. Cheers. So, as you can see, this is a partially completed Batfleck suit. So, right now I have a urethane cowl, which I split up the back. I know everybody immediately is like, no, don't split a urethane cowl. It had to be done because I can't get it on my head otherwise, so I'm going to have to install like a zipper, and that will help anchor this down. Right now I have the stock cape on it, and it's fine. It's just not as long as I'd like. I have another one that's from Kylo Ren that I think I'd rather use. That will allow me to anchor the cape to the edges, which will keep these down on the shoulders. I've gone in and put in some new abdominal pads. My fat tummy pushes it out a little bit, so if I suck it in, it looks a little bit more Batfleck. I need to kind of bring in the back a little bit. These are third-party urethane gauntlets. They're amazing. They are not the ones that come with it. They are a bitch to get on, as everything urethane. They need to be a little... They need some gold touch-ups and whatnot. The belt is stock. It's just a little modified. I'll repaint this a little bit too. The chest symbol is covered up by the cowl, so I'm going to actually go in and remove some of this and probably just put a brand new chest piece on it that's a little lower. Just enough so that this maybe anchors just above it. Or, you know, I may just lose the classic piece right here that is part of the Batfleck. But overall, I mean, people can see the symbol, so I'm just going to put a bigger symbol on it. But overall, it looks not bad. So, a lot more mods coming up. I threw some shoulder pads in just temporarily to see what that looks like. I have a solution. My arms fill the suit okay for an extra large. Not enough, so I'm going to have to put some pads in the triceps and the biceps. The legs actually are pretty full, so I don't need to pad my butt or my legs, thank goodness. And the boots cover up the calves, which are always too small. So really it's just anchoring down the cowl and hopefully replacing this a little bit with something better. And then we're good. We're Batfleck, and then just some gloves. So